Hey everyone. I don't know what to say. It's like, it shouldn't be shocking to anybody, right? It's the status quo. If you work for the CBC, you seemingly have a hate on and always want to attack, stereotype, misrepresent, or disavow anything espoused or promoted by those who actually care, not just care about individual liberties, but are also willing to stand up and fight for those liberties. I mean, think about what kind of a person, think about the kind of person, what kind of a person has a hate on for those who actually want to stand up for individual freedoms and rights and go against tyrannical governments or oppressive states. Who think about the kind of people that takes issue or has a problem with freedom fighters or liberty lovers. And especially libertarian types, those who, it's the thing. Libertarianism, because, that's a word that is used within this article, and we'll get to it as soon as I start reading it. But all anyone would have to look at there today, anyone reading this article would have to, well, what is a libertarian? They would realize quickly, just by Google searching or using any other search engine or any historical documentation or books or the dictionary libertarianism represents two main fundamental principles. The non-aggression principle, which is you don't preemptively use force, violence, or coercion or theft against other people. Now, defensively, for sure, force and violence, all that, it's all accepted as a means for defense, but never preemptively. So peaceful, live and let live type of people, number one. The other thing is private property, self-ownership, because private property isn't just the things that we produce with our intellect or our hands or our labor, but the fact that we own ourselves, self-ownership. My property is my body. My body, my mind, that's mine. It's all mine, folks. Nobody gets to control it. Nobody owns it. It's mine. Once again, those are the two fundamental principles of libertarianism. So anyone that takes issues with that, well, I'll leave it up to you to decide. Are they, what's the counter to a libertarian? What's the exact opposite? Oh, an authoritarian. So apparently, that's what Christy Hunter, and what a shame. With a last name like Hunter, you'd think Christy would know better, but she's a contributor to the CBC, and obviously, just the sheer fact that she shares the same last name as me, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah? See? Another example of that collectivism, or, placing everyone into collective groups. That doesn't work out. Doesn't work out here. Doesn't work out in pretty much any other situation either. Headline out of CBC News, Canada. 3 percenters are Canada's most dangerous extremist groups, say some experts. Experts. That's the thing. They always use this term, this overarching umbrella term. Experts. Experts in what? The fuck are the experts in pointing out that liberty lovers are bad people? There's a study for that? You can become proficiently or expert in the field of being against people that care about their personal or individual freedoms. Really? Sounds like a cult to me, but I guess you could be an expert in a cult too, right? Far-right group says it welcomes everyone, but some who've studied it say it's an anti-Muslim militia. This anti-Muslim thing, all you know damn well, before we even get into the article, it's all about, this mass immigration or this constant influx of the illegals, the asylum seekers or the Syrian refugees that they bring in here, like into Canada, that we're all forced to pay for. I'm sure that most of the people that they were referencing, basically everything that they would be saying is more or less along the lines of what I would suggest. Because you're not going to, I don't know anyone out there. I read all these articles. I've never seen them actually directly quote any Canadian, especially because this is Canadian news, right? CBC. Any Canadian that's what fucking Nazis? Like, what? Want to put all these people in ovens or something? Show me. I hope there's a quote somewhere contained within this article, Christy. You got something to quote there? Surely you do. I mean, if you're going to write an article such as this, there must be something within it, in the body of this article, where you can quote where these vile, violent extremists, these white nationalists, or these anti-Islamicists, or these Islamophobes are really pushing to use violence, preemptive violence towards these people. Surely there's something contained within here. Let's read in and see where we can find it. There's got to be something here, right? So let's check it out. When hundreds of white supremacists staged a march in Charlottesville, Virginia last August, most of the attention was on the counter-protester killed when a vehicle believed to have been driven by one of the marchers plowed into a crowd of pedestrians, and on the controversial statements made about the events by U.S. President Donald Trump. The article started out, the article started out with something that happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. Not in our country. And if you know how some dude that wasn't even at that event, right? But some complete fucking totally different scenario, but some dude put that Challenger in reverse and then fucking put her in drive and fucking plowed through a bunch of people. I don't know who knows what the reason, what the motive behind it was, but hey, whatever, no matter what. But what the hell does that have anything to do with what the fuck is happening here in Canada? Well, let's read on. Let's try to find out where this person, where she's trying to go with this, right? What kind of narrative, what kind of story she's trying to create. There was little news coverage, however, of an armed group called the Three Percenters, whose members, dressed in paramilitary gear and carrying guns, attended the rally, acting as a self-styled security detail independent of law enforcement. The name of the group is a reference to the claim, debated among historians, that only 3% of Americans took up arms and served in George Washington's colonial army in the American Revolution against the British. Okay, going off on a totally different tangent here, but so this paramilitary geared gun-toting folks, did they do anything? Christy, what have they done? I just got to read a little further, don't I, Christy? You're going to get to it here, trust me, for sure. Because you wouldn't write an article, would you, that was trying to stereotype or paint people in a negative light without showing some evidence or facts to back it up, right? Surely the established media, those in CBC, you would never do something like that, right? So let's just move on here, because surely she's got it all down here. It's documented here somewhere. The group says its main goals are to protect the rights to bear arms, defend against an overreaching government, and to push back against tyranny, but claims on its website that it is not a militia and not anti-government per se. Still waiting. The group was established in 2008 and picked up steam after the election of Barack Obama as U.S. president, part of a broader growth of anti-government groups that some observers have dubbed the Patriot Movement. Oh, so try and do a little lead up to trying to paint it as a racist movement too, but yet Christie doesn't want to point out, or doesn't seem like Christie wants to point out the fact that, it was all those white nationalists. Barack Obama come to power in 2008 and 2012 by having the support of a lot of these people that Christie here is trying to paint as racist. Odd, right? These racists voted for Barack Obama. Fuck, they must be way dumber than Christie even puts on or presents. Mac Lamoureux of the news site Vice first reported last spring that the Three Percenters had established a chapter in Alberta. Nearly a year later, CBC's The Weekly has uncovered details about the group's growing membership, including a newly established chapter in Ontario and members spanning every province. Have they committed any crimes, CBC or Christie? Anybody here? Because why are you tracking them? Why are you covering them? I mean, if someone hasn't covered or created any crimes or caused any harm to anyone, well, why are you tracking them? Why are you surveilling them? What's up with that? What are you, the Stasi now? The brown shirts, the black shirts? Is that what you represent today? Right? Don't know. Once again, I guess we'll just have to read on. And they show a picture of their mission statement, the Three Percenters in Alberta, and doesn't sound a whole lot like they're a bunch of racist, homophobe, or Islamophobes or violent extremists to me. But hey, once again, I actually know how to read and interpret the English language, unlike Christie apparently. They are the most dangerous group right now. Based on what? I don't know. Once again, it's got to be within here. It's got to be within the body of this article. There's got to be some evidence here. I just haven't got to it yet. Said Maxime Fisset, a former neo-Nazi who works with the Center for the Prevention of Radicalization leading to Violence in Montreal. He has been monitoring the group since they first formed in Canada. Oh, so a long history there, so he's got to have something. It's a deep paranoia and an American way of libertarianism, he said. Once again, An American way of libertarianism, standing up for freedom, for individual liberty. Okay. How is that construed as a negative or dangerous in any way? Dangerous for those in government, dangerous for the ruling class, dangerous for the political and pundit class, apparently, or at least they deem that to be dangerous towards them, but yet, what are they experiencing as far as danger? Still nothing so far. There is a feeling of dread and anxiety. I've known people who feel threatened by the outside world. The Three Percenters are increasing their ability to fight back. The Three Percenters private Facebook groups reveal the Alberta chapter has nearly 3,000 members, although the Vice report estimates only 150 to 200 are active. The Ontario group, formed in fall of 2017, has more than 600 members, although it is unclear how many are active. Ooh, big threat, huh? Yeah. Any examples of any, violence? So far, mum's the word. Like the American counterparts, the Canadian Three Percenters say on Facebook that they are armed and ready to defend themselves against the government should it turn tyrannical. They call themselves a patriot group whose members include military, ex-military, first responders, and police members, everyday laborers, and business owners. Some of their Facebook posts suggest you need to be a licensed gun owner to be an active member. Paramilitary training illegal. They say their mission is to defend Canada's heritage from enemies, both foreign and domestic. But one of Canada's leading experts in hate crimes, Barbara Perry, a professor at the University of Ontario Institute of Technology in Oshawa, Ontario, who has studied the group, says it is actually a far-right prepper militia movement that is actively arming and engaging in paramilitary training. Militias are not technically illegal in Canada, but some armed groups that engage in military-like training risk violating parts of the criminal code. For what? For what? Still, all this crap, like think about how far we've gone into this article already, and nothing, offer nothing, zero. Big nothing burger as far as any evidence to, like this shock and awe moment, or this revelation. No revelations so far, but let's just keep reading on, I guess. Section 70 of the Code prohibits assemblies of persons without lawful authority for the purpose of training or holding drills, being trained or drilled in the use of arms, practicing military exercises. That sounds pretty tyrannical, doesn't it? Right? That sounds something that would be enshrined in every tyrannical authoritarian regime around the world. So far in this article, I'm not seeing anything truly negative, no real negative connotations or direct threats from these supposed militias or these Three Percenters or these libertarians. But I am seeing where the government's rules are saying, hey, you're not allowed to go against your oppressors, your authorities. So, Christy, hello, you wrote this article. Man, the shit that must be roaming through your mind, or you're just not paying attention to the thing you're writing. You're ideologically driven. You're creating an ideological driven narrative, and that's about what it seems like. That's how I perceive it. Anyways. Perry says Islamophobia is the ideology that underpins the Three Percenters. The Alberta group is actively trying to defend Canada from what they see as the inevitable invasion by Muslims, she said. We are not anti-Islam. The Canadian Three Percenters became more active after the election of Justin Trudeau in 2015. Facebook posts reveal a mounting fear of Muslim refugees and open borders. Oh, you mean illegals crossing the border illegally? And the fact that in Canada we have this socialist fucking safety net, this big, gigantic, almost full-on socialist regime that the domestic population is forced to pay for all this. So the fact that they want to defend themselves against the forced subjugation and the forced wealth and income redistribution, once again, they're being painted as terrible people for want to prevent them and their counterparts by being subjects and slaves to a ruling class, right? Or to pay for their economic or social competition or competitors in the marketplace. Some members even claim Trudeau is a Muslim convert himself, calling him Jihad Justin, according to screen grabs of posts from the closed Facebook groups of the Ontario and Alberta chapters obtained by The Weekly. They're just people, man. People offer all kinds of opinions regarding all kinds of things. What's your point? Domestic terrorism is a huge issue in our country today, Bo Welling, president of the Alberta chapter of the Three Percenters, told the Weekly, "We do accept all religions. We are not anti-Islam. So to say, it's the extremists we dislike." So, well, totally offered a complete rebuttal to the premise and the pretense put forth by Christie here, but I guess she just wants to ignore that and just continue on that typical stereotyping of freedom fighters and liberty lovers. But some posts from the Facebook group paint a very different picture. In one, a person posting under Welling's name writes, "The only good Muslim is a dead Muslim." Welling denies writing the post, saying his account was hacked by the far-left group Antifa, short for anti-fascist, a group that has clashed with far-right protesters at demonstrations in the U.S. and Canada. He said that he had reported the hacking of his Facebook account to RCMP and Calgary Police. Producers at the Weekly called Calgary Police to confirm this, and moments later got a message from Welling saying he knew CBC was speaking with the cops. A Calgary Police spokesperson later said that they were aware of the claim but said Welling had not made a formal complaint. The Three Percenters use Facebook to plan activities such as tactical training exercises, monitoring of mosques, and what they call security jobs similar to the ones they were carrying out at the Charlottesville protests. Some members of the Alberta Three Percenters made their public debut in Calgary last June at a rally hosted by the World Coalition Against Islam, fronted by anti-Islam activist Sandra Solomon. Members of the Three Percenters have since posed as security at similar rallies in Toronto, London, and Hamilton. Their presence at a demonstration at Hamilton City Hall last year opposing the Liberal-sponsored anti-Islamophobia motion known as M103 prompted the City Council to pass a motion banning groups from hiring unlicensed securities for events on public property. Anyways, I'll post a link to this article in the description of the video below. But once again, think about it. They're trying to paint libertarians or those who want to stand up and defend their country, right, from illegals or the completely undoing of the social contract. Oh, once again, we're seeing this time and time again, folks. The people in the media, like I say, and this, what's her name, Christie Hunter, pretty white there. So once again, folks, just more proof that your identity politics shit, it's breaking down on you here, because white people are fighting white people here, and they're showing their hatred and vitriol towards each other, just depending on which side of the political aisle you happen to show solidarity with. So once again, join us, libertarians, even though they try to paint libertarians in with this shit, but join those of us that actually talk about and promote individuals and individual freedom, individual liberty, and individual personal responsibility and accountability, because then, hey, then we all know exactly who it is that we're dealing with instead of this group. You know, the bad people, the authoritarians, the sociopaths, the control freaks, they fly under the radar as long as these collective ideologies and pretenses are used, because the bad people can just hide in and congregate within a particular tribe or a group, and they'll be protected by that particular tribe or group. So once again, like I say, give up on the collectivism, give up on the identity politics, give up on all this bullshit group think, tribal mentality, and that's the best path forward, folks. I mean, I know it's a little disturbing for those that want to do the, yeah, I'm white, you're brown, hoorah. You know, we got to hate these people. Listen, you might very well need some of those brown or black people that, you know, believe it or not, hey, they care about freedoms and liberties too. I'm not saying they all do, and they might have different ideas or a mentality on how they might want to achieve their freedoms, but trust me, there's brown and black people that care about their individual freedoms and liberties too. So, you know, be wary, be wise, right? Let's stop collectivizing everyone based on their skin pigmentation or where their country of origin might have been or what culture they may have come from, because you don't know what's going on in their mind. There's no way you can unless you've talked to and dealt with them as an individual. It's Canadian Libertarian. And just like these Three Percenters, I love liberty, and I'll definitely fight to defend it.